So we've got another brand new bank switch deal from NatWest that pays up to £175. Now, the initial switching offer is £125, but you get the chance to boost it by another £50. And there's also the opportunity to get over £30 via linked rewards and £53 in interest on top. We've also got a full in-depth analysis of NatWest's new switching offer over on becleverwithyourcash.com. So, what is the deal? First up is the £125 you get from just switching, as long as you meet a few conditions, which I'll go into in a moment. If you're on top of your switching deals, you'll probably know that this is definitely down the lower end of switching incentives for NatWest, with previous bonuses worth up to £180 and even £200. You can get an extra £50 if you open its digital regular saver, which pays an interest rate of 5.5%, bringing the total you get to £175. You can take advantage of the deal if you're a new or existing NatWest customer, but also if you've been a customer before. The rule here is that you can't ever have received a switching bonus from the banking group, so that's NatWest, RBS, or Ulster Bank. Previously, the cut-off date was 2020, but now it's of all time. You can only get one bonus per person, regardless of whether you have more than one solo or any extra joint accounts, and you'll also only get one payment per joint account. So if the two of you want the cash, you're better off opening two new individual accounts. And it's worth noting that in 2023, many readers reported in our Facebook group that they were able to get an offer from each bank in the group, despite the terms saying it wasn't possible. Now, you can only get the money with either a reward or select current account. So these include the select account, the reward account, the premier select account, and the premier reward account. If you're a new customer, you'll need to open an account using the NatWest app or website. Existing account holders with one of these don't need to open one. If you have a different NatWest account, you can convert this to one of the accounts I just mentioned rather than opening a brand new one. You'll then need to use the current account switching service and switch a current account from a different bank outside of the NatWest group. If you don't have a spare account, then it's worth considering setting up a dummy current account to use for switching. We've got more details of how exactly you can do this over on becleverwithyourcash.com. On to the conditions. So as with any bank switch, there are usually a number of hoops you need to jump through, although with this deal, they're fairly simple. So what you need to do is open or already have one of the accounts I've mentioned after the 24th of June 2025. You'll also need to start a full switch using the current account switch service via the NatWest website or app, switch from a non-NatWest group bank, pay in £1,250 within 60 days of switching the account, log into online or app banking within 60 days of switching the account, and keep the account open until you've had the switching cash. Now, that £1,250 deposit doesn't need to be paid in one go, so you can add money across the qualifying period. It can even be the same small amount added and then withdrawn, so you can add it again. However, each single deposit, rather than the total £1,250, needs to be in the account for 24 hours. Be mindful, the wording says that the 60 days begins when the switch completes, not starts, and you won't be eligible if you start the switch in a branch or over the phone. Now, to get the additional £50, you need to open a digital regular saver within 60 days of completing your switch, and within 30 days, you'll get the additional £50 paid to you. So, what account should you choose? Well, the Select account is just a basic account, so there's not much there, and the Premier Select account requires you to pay in a salary of at least £100,000 or £120,000 joint income, or have a minimum of £100,000 savings or investments with NatWest, or a £500,000 NatWest mortgage. So it's probably out of reach for most people. Between the two reward accounts, most people are best off going to the standard reward account, as there's a high income threshold for the Premier Rewards account too. If you've got a couple of spare direct debits, adding them to the reward account will earn you £4 a month, and you'll also get another £1 for using your NatWest app each month. Deduct the £2 a month fee and you'll make a profit of £3 a month or £36 a year. Now, it's not the highest paying account out there, but it's worth looking into if you're going to use NatWest. Bear in mind that the £5 monthly reward is paid to a separate reward wallet, so you'll need to log in and withdraw it each month. You'll also be able to deposit up to £150 a month, more if you use the round up feature when spending, earning 5.5% in the digital regular saver. Now, the £150 monthly maximum isn't particularly high. Other regular savers let you pay in as much as £300 a month, so double this threshold, and they can often pay higher interest rates. For example, we've currently got a regular saver from Principality that pays 7.5% for 6 months, and you can deposit up to £200 a month, whereas the new regular saver from Biscuit by Zopa offers 7.1% for a year, and you can pay in £300 a month, which would be the better option. With the Biscuit regular saver, you do need to open a linked current account, as you often do with regular savers, but if you deposit the maximum each month, you could earn £137 in a year. You can find out more information in our Biscuit review on the website. With the NatWest option, you'd earn significantly less, so you'd get £53 in interest if you pay in the maximum £150 a month. But what's interesting about this account is that it will continue to pay 5.5% on balances up to £5,000. Yes, it'll take a while to build up to that balance if you're only paying in £150 a month, but once you get there, 5.5% is the highest savings rate you can get on such a balance at the moment, although it's variable, so it could change any time. What you do tend to find is that lots of regular savers only pay the top rate for a year and then that's it. The account matures and you only earn the provider's standard variable savings rate, which is usually piddly. But if you are interested in the top savings rates, do check out our best buys at becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. Now, there's no set end date for this switching deal, so it could finish at any time. But the last time NatWest ran a switching offer, it lasted for a couple of months. So if you're keen, I'd act sooner rather than later. There are also a number of other switching deals available at the moment, and we've got all the details on becleverwithyourcash.com. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.